One time for your mind. Interesting stuff going on. I found something that troubled me, bothered me immensely, and it's probably going to end up having a lot to do with people hating on you in ways you probably wouldn't think of. And Bryan has an announcement that we've been waiting on for a while. He's announced it already, but we are close to some real good news here. What you got, B? One time for your mind.
Fiction novel debut coming June 1st. Hidalgo Heights, The Victims Are Taking Up Space. It's a project that I've been working on for a long, long time. I'm actually going to get deeper into the story later on at some point in terms of like how this sort of came about. But what I will say is that I remember in April of last year already, which is crazy because, time is just, I don't know what's going on with time these days. April of last year is when I sort of came up with the idea. I was playing NBA Street Volume 3. And and because NBA Street Volume 3 was just a game that like I hadn't seen in a while, I wanted to see if it held up. I wanted to play some street ball, and we had nothing but time because we were at our sort of COVID apex in New York City. Like it was really bad. We were losing like 1,000 people a day, literally, et cetera, et cetera. I probably left the crib twice all spring. Like it was really bad. And then I started building this sort of neighborhood because you can do that in NBA Street Volume 3. You could make your own court, you could create your own neighborhood. And then minutes later, I was just writing an outline for the story. So it gets into a lot, and I won't get into the entire thing here. What I will say is that it's very raw. There's a lot going on that you'll probably get more of the second time you read it. You'll get it the first time. Like if you're paying attention, you'll get it the first time. But there definitely inevitably be things that you missed because that's just how sort of art is when it's very intricate and there's just a lot going on. Like me and Dexter have talked about TV shows and things of that nature, and I'm in the middle of watching one right now where I know for a fact that I'm going to need to watch it again because there are just going to be a lot of layers that you sort of miss out. Nobody watches certain like shows that are like well thought out, well put together the very first time and be like, all right, I got every single thing that goes on. Like you don't want that as a creative. So I'm hoping that people do get it and read it front to back twice. It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be $20, $19.99 actually, physicals, ebooks later on. I'm going to hold those for a little bit because, I want people to get the physicals because the physicals is a little more detail there. And me personally, I like having the book in my hand. I don't, I'm not somebody who gets like on Kindle and ebooks and things like that and, reads through it because I just don't want to be staring at a screen for longer than I have to, especially these days where everything I'm doing is on a fucking screen. Lot of characters of color. It's Latino heavy, but there's also, as I've said to Dexter before, you can't tell the story of Latinos in New York City without their black friends. So there are definitely some characters of color all over the place in the story. There's high school kids, there's adults, there's young adults, and there's a lot of cursing. So be aware of that.
What a shock.
One of my old high school teachers was like, yo, I want to put this in my classroom. And I was like, just be careful because there's a lot of swearing. And the reason for that is because like, and my mom is not going to appreciate this because, she's like, oh, why do you have to curse to get your point across? But the thing is, it's very raw. And I remember being in high school and I, remember just earlier times in my life and things like that. Like that's how things come off, especially when you're stressed all the time. You're dealing with certain things, anxiety, whatever. So there are parts of it that was heavy, and I'm hoping that there's enough humor to at least keep people smiling through it. But 268 pages, 24 chapters, prologue, epilogue, and yeah, we're ready to roll. I'm ready to get this shit to wherever it got to go, and hopefully, if enough people buy it, then I could just do that for a living.
Well, that's the thing, and I wanted to say that, and congrats to you because the release date is here, and you're going to get this out to the world.
June 1st,
and I think people need to understand what a jump it is to create your content and put it out to the world. It's a big jump, step one. But the other thing I wanted to say coming off of that, Bryan said he hopes enough people read it. Look, we've had a lot of people support us on this podcast. We have a lot of people support other things we do. A lot of people always say they want to support independent creators. They want to support minority content creators. Support this, all right? Support. There's a lot of talk. Don't wait for some big publishing house to come on and say they want to give Bryan a deal.
And I ain't
Don't
trying to
wait
get
for
one, by the way, too, because this is copywritten and owned by me. I ain't trying to get
right.
a
This
publisher.
is independent. This is done. That stuff matters, and I think it matters more. I'm speaking specifically to our people. When I say our people, I mean our minority audience. Obviously now minorities, white folks, you want to come and buy this too, you want to support it, do it. But a lot of times we say we support people, we give our friends likes, we retweet stuff, but are you really going to support it and put the money where your mouth is and not just wait for, if Bryan's on a bestseller list or gets whatever accolades? It seems sometimes as a creator, that's when people come and support you, when you're now associated with something that's supposedly bigger. But it's like, really invest in your culture, really invest in people that look like you, because that's what really matters, So support the independent journalism, independent content creation. Here's your chance. I mean, you've been rocking with us on this. Here's your chance. Bryan going into something that's a little bit different, but creating content that he's passionate about, telling stories about his people. Support that. I think
Yeah.
that's not said enough. It's not just a like and a retweet.
Yep.
Sometimes when it comes down to, are you actually going to put some money behind and support this man? And I'm saying this to somebody who hasn't read a word of this book, not because I couldn't have, because I could have, but this is something I know as a content creator that is absolutely important. So it's important for us to note that and support Bryan as he goes forward with the release of Hidalgo Heights.
Yeah, and one more thing I forgot to mention is that just so people know, like when you're buying this stuff, like a good percentage of this is going straight to me. Okay, like that's how it sort of works when you're self-publishing through Amazon. And shout out to Mel Projects, because they help me on the editorial side and just editing and formatting, laying out. Because for me, it's like I am of a different generation of Puerto Rican, where I'm willing to pay people to sort of help me out. You know what I mean? Like there are we got people in our from where we from, and you know how it is in your like y'all don't want to pay for, we don't want to pay for anything. We just want we just want to take care of everything ourselves. But I feel like I'm not qualified to do everything, and you don't want to overexert yourself for everything. So when you do buy this, just know that most of your money is going directly to me.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go. Supporting an independent creator, minority creator, content creator, support it. This is the support that a lot of us need when we put in the time and work into what we do.